Hello and welcome to FPL Have a Beer. We're in this rather special video. I'm joined by the mythical creator of the Great and the Good mini league, which you probably, if you're a black box watcher, I mean, they mention it pretty much every week, don't they?
Yeah.
And a man with four top 10k finishes to his name, FPL Greybeard, aka Andy, and one of the team behind the striker Keepers, Losers, Weepers tournament, FPL Pep Talk, aka Stuart, who has a best overall finish of 3k. Is that right, Stuart?
Yeah, that's great.
That's right. To basically reveal their first drafts. So yeah, in the video we'll be going through both Andy and Stuart's first drafts, and then we're going to have a talk a little bit about the history of the Great and the Good mini league, and we're also going to talk about the Strikers, Losers, Weepers tournament. So please to help get the video out there. Please subscribe to keep up to date with what's going on the channel, including my new FPL Pubcast preview stream and the FPL lock-in reaction stream, which I am joined for both of those with legend, who unfortunately can't be with us for this particular video, Triggerlips, to both preview and react to the stream, to the game week. And if you want to support the channel even further, please check out the join button to check out channel memberships, which are just 99p per month. And I'll also briefly mention that the first ever FPL podcast came out a few days ago, if you're interested to see what my first draft is and what Triggerlips' first draft is, because I'm obviously not going to talk about them here. So guys, so nice to have you on. I take it you prefer to go by Andy and Stuart than Greyhead and FPL Pep Talk. Would that be fair?
Yeah, no, Andy's absolutely fine. Although you called me Greybeard in the introduction, so
Greybeard.
I just want to say I'm clean shaven, but I have got the grey hair. So that's why the name.
I had you in my. I've been doing it in the chat when I've been talking to people about you coming on as well. For some reason, it's always stuck. Because obviously I've heard your name for years, and it's stuck that it was Greybeard, and I just can't get it out of my head.
Everyone does it, mate. Everyone does it. No worries at all. No worries at all.
Okay, so let's jump straight into it. So we're going to start with Andy's draft, Greybeard's draft. But before we look at your draft, Andy, you sent me this morning this table. I don't know if you just want to talk me through it. I'm guessing this is part of your. Is this your watch list?
Yeah, no. Basically, it was something I did last night. Okay. So Mrs. Greyhead was out at the theatre, so I had a bit of time just to play around with drafts and stuff, which is what we all love to do. It's what I kind of do at the start of any season, really. I just kind of work out in these kind of like groups, the cheap, the medium, and the premium in each position, and just kind of pick out the ones I think these are the ones that I fancy in the group, and it just helps me anyway, kind of visualize where are the players that I think there's a bit more choice, how I want to kind of structure my team, etc. So it's just something I put together and shared out, and I thought it might just give us some talking points, and you can start saying where's Saliba, or where's so and so player along the way.
I mean, is this a list just in general? Is this a list that you'll update and amend over pre-season, or is it fixed?
Well, no, I mean, I think we're so early on, aren't we? So there's so much is going to change for pre-season. So, I mean, what have we? I'm a Spurs fan, as is Stuart, and we've had one Spurs like pre-season friendly, and everyone's going, "Kudos is the man." Whereas I think as we get closer, that may well change. But we'll see.
Well, I notice he's on your list. He's in your list.
Oh, he did. Yeah. I'm not completely stupid.
What do you think of him? Because he's a big talking point. I mean, we were sort of split on him last night in the Pubcast. Some people, the idea is it's either he's the cheapest bargain of the season or he's completely overrated. I mean, what are your lads' views? Andy?
Go on, Stuart.
Go on.
I think that I'm going to wait and see, because I don't understand how just moving from West Ham to Tottenham suddenly makes him a majorly good FPL pick. He's not lit up, the game in terms of West Ham play. He's never scored massively for them. So, and I know that he can have, some good games, he can look quite dangerous, but until he starts to consistently put the points down, then I'm going to wait and see, I think.
Yeah, and he seems to. Also, it's not as if he's moved to Man City, is it? I mean, no offense to you guys, but you finished quite a bit below West Ham last year, didn't you? I know the Europa League was part of that, but what do you reckon, Andy?
We finished quite a lot below a lot of teams last
Yeah,
season, to
yeah.
be honest, didn't we? I think it's the combination of Thomas Frank. So I think like Spurs are going to be rejuvenated. I think the Spurs fixtures aren't too bad. He's 6.5. He had a good game in that. I think it was against Reading, wasn't it? That pre-season friendly. Yeah. He looked really lively. So people are adding 101 and thinking, right, that's it. So as I said, it'll be the bandwagon for a while. The next game he might not play, or he'll be benched, etc., or he'll play rubbish.
Okay.
And he'll kind of go down the pecking order. So I think I get it because he's cheap, and if he lives up to his potential, he could be a great bargain. But we've seen it before.
I'm gonna obviously, if we went through this entire table, we'd probably be here for 2 hours.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll just pick out. Obviously, viewers can look at it on the screen, but I'll just pick out the ones that stand out to me. So, is it Esteve? Do you reckon he's the best 4 million? Have I got that name right? Do you know?
No, you're just talking to the worst person. My pronunciation of some of the players is absolutely atrocious. So I was really hoping you were going to be bang on to say my blushes.
He's Burnley. I'm 99%.
Yeah, he's Burnley. I mean, I think I think it's either him or Rondon. I think was the other one that's been mentioned. But they're all from promoted teams. So,
he's Sunderland, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think from what I could read so far, he's Esteve, or is more like was a starter last season. He played most of the games, I think, and therefore 4 million, stick him in there. If he does all right, great. If he doesn't, he's going to sit on your bench.
You're never going to play him, are you? He's a third bench player for 4 million. Is what you're looking for? Is someone that you're never going to use. I mean, do you even need a 4 million third bench player to be a starter? I mean, you could put any 4 million in there, really. I don't want to play that third bench player.
I mean, in my draft at the minute, I've got a 4.5 striker, so I really want my defenders to play. Stuart, I'll ask you this one. Matson over Konza. So Steve-O is a friend of the channel. He bigs up Matson a lot because he thinks massive attacking potential there. But Konza's obviously a lot more reliable. Which, if you were going to have one of those two in your draft, we'll see if you've got it in your draft in a minute, who would it be?
Konza for the reliability until Matson proves that he's a first team regular.
Yeah, I think it's on the same side as the horrible troll Digne, isn't it? Yeah.
I just don't want to get involved in that possibility that they switch round all the time.
Yeah. What do you think of Tarkowski at 5.5? Is he worth that extra 0.5 for the defensive points? Well, assuming he gets the defensive points again.
Well, he was the poster child, wasn't he? When they started talking about defensive bonus points, everyone went, Tarkowski, we've got to get him. And then everyone saw his price and went, oh, actually, no. No, I think he's worth considering. And again, I think Everton have got decent fixtures, and I think will be good defensively, starting off with. But I think he's on the fringe of people that I would look to bring in. So he's on this list, but as you see in a minute, he's not in the draft.
This one is one that it's not particularly directed to you, but to people in general. Is Ndidia being in? I've seen him in lots and lots of drafts. I guess it's just because he's basically a striker that's been put back to a midfielder. Is that the reason he's there?
Yeah. I think it's that. I think again the fixtures are quite good. He did all right. I think towards the end of last season, he looked like he was the talisman. I think that's the phrase they use in the FPL world. So a lot was going around him. So I think he's got potential to do well. So so I think that's probably why he's there. But he's also someone who seems to get injured quite a lot as well. So again, depends what happens running up to the start of the season.
Is he not the penalty taker as well for Everton? Potentially.
Possibly. I guess it depends on. I don't know if the new guy striker they bought in takes penalties. I'm not too sure on that. I bought him in last season. Do you remember before the double game week with Liverpool?
Yeah.
it was him or Beto, and Beto obviously did amazingly, not just that game week, but like for the next 4 or 5 game weeks, and then basically did nothing. What else? What else sort of stands out to me here? You've got Son in here at 8.5. I've not seen Son even mentioned. Why is he in here for? I thought he wouldn't be leaving.
He's in the draft as well. So wait till you get to that.
Spoilers.
But no.
Is that a nostalgic pick, Andy? Is that what
I'm
you're
like
with?
say, yeah, I'm a
Spurs
Spurs
fan.
fan. I mean, he's a great player. I really appreciate that he's obviously, his contribution, the injuries he's picked up, he's kind of gone down his impact over the last couple of years. But I think on his day, and again going back to what we were saying earlier with Thomas Frank, hopefully getting the most out of him. It's not the worst punt in the world, for the first couple of weeks to see how it goes. Having said all that, as you said today, Gary's been kind of linked with, what is it, LAFC or something, to go over there. So obviously, if he's not around by the time the season starts, then he won't be in there. But it's a bit of a nostalgia, as you say, Stuart, and also I don't see why not, because on his day he can be quite lethal.
I don't think if he does stay, he'll be like a perfect free hit player. Like if he's got a decent game week and we know he's going to start. But I kind of see many people having him in their game week 1 teams. What about Cunha? A lot of people seems to be on a lot of void lists as opposed to watch lists. Stuart, what's your opinion on him?
I like Cunha as a player in terms of the ability that he's got and the routes to points. I don't know if I like him more or less now he's gone to Manchester United, and I certainly don't like him at the start with the fixtures United have got. So yeah, I think I'll probably have him at some point during the season, but that also depends on whether he turns out to be better than Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I mean,
points from United have got better fixtures.
He's not going to have penalties, is he? I wouldn't have thought. I mean,
it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because Fernandes is their penalty taker as well, and they captain and everything.
Well, so. I think he has given them away in the past to Ronaldo for Portugal, hasn't he? So maybe he would, but I mean, I don't see it personally. And then if we just move on to the strikers briefly, I mean, I think you've got all the ones that are sort of mainly being talked about there, haven't you? Shall we move on? Shall we move on to your first drop? So for the audio listeners, or I might as well read it out. I'll read out the team, and then I'll ask you to talk me through your reason, and also I can mess up all the pronunciations as well.
Excellent.
So you got Sells in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Van de Ven, and Maatsen as a back three. This is a 4-4-3. Rodgers, Foden, Palmer, and Son. This is really different up front. Haaland, who someone commented on the podcast this week, why was Haaland in no drafts? Here's a Haaland draft for whoever that person was. Watkins and João Pedro, and then on the bench, right, I'm going to mess these up. Dorjo, Diveni, and Esteve. There we go.
Perfect. I could have done it worse myself.
So do you want to talk us through your thinking here, mate? And then maybe me and Stuart can grill you a little bit with our thoughts.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, I'm thinking if you can't have fun with your first draft, when can you have fun? Is my first kind of member defence. So, but I do think the keepers I think are fairly solid. I can't see them changing much. I think Sells for Forest. I think Forest will be good defensively. So yeah, I think he's good value still at 5 million. Darlow, from what I understand, he's going to be playing. Again, to your point, Stuart, I'll probably never use him, but the fact that he's a playing 4.0 keeper is not bad.
Today, is he the Leeds keeper?
Yeah.
Leeds are buying a goalkeeper today.
Okay. The dream's over. The dream's over already.
Before it started.
I blame Andy Martin. Andy Martin, I remember, made a comment saying he was going to be the one that starts. I thought, this is great. 4 million. Brilliant. In. Right, okay. Well, anyway, if it's not Darla, it'll be some other 4 million keeper anyway, because it'll be Sells most week. Backline, I've gone really heavy on the 4.5 million bracket. I just see kind of lots of really good options in that bracket. I think Van Bissaka, I think he looked good towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
West Ham had decent fixtures. He was getting forward. He obviously gets plenty of tackles now as well. So I think he's a good pick. There might be some questions.
Decent on the defensive points, I think we were talking about last night.
Exactly. But he got forward quite a bit, I thought, towards the end under Potter. So I didn't think that was a bad shout. Although I think West Ham have signed Walker Peters and someone else as well. So that I just need to check and make sure he's actually going to start week in, week out. But I think he's not a bad option. Van der Ven, I think it's Van der Ven or Udogie from Spurs. You want one of those. Both have got good options. I think Van der Ven will be better for the bonus points. Udogie looked quite good going forward. Does look good going forward most times. Matson's in there, but I hear your point. We don't know if he's gonna be a starter. But I put, when it comes to Villa, Tom Freeman, who does a lot of the work for Scout, right?
Yeah,
Deputy editor, I think he is. I trust his judgment on Villa. So, and I've seen he's keen on him. So as a result, which that's
keen on him.
Swayed my thinking on him.
I would listen to Craig, FPL Vincenzo, because he is a Aston Villa fan as well, and he might know a little bit more about who might be starting this season potentially. Yeah,
so I'll tap him up. Right, Craig, I'm coming after you to make sure he's starting. All right, and then the other 4.5 minute is Dorgu, who I thought looked really good going forward again for United. I have a sneaking suspicion United are going to be better this time round. I know they're a bit of a basket case of a club, but I do think they're going to be better. So he's my one dabble at the moment into United. So that's the kind of defence sorted out. Midfield wise, we'll raise eyebrows. Palmer's probably the one that most people have got. Chelsea, good strong fixtures. He's the man. Rodgers, I think he's a Villa man, good fixtures. I think even at 7 million, I think he'll be looking good.
I think he's worth it.
And Foden is the one that people raise their eyebrows at because he was obviously not so great last season, but he did look quite good during that Club World Cup competition. I think he knows he needs to step up this season. He's got the World Cup at the end of it, so I think he'll be motivated. And again, City will be better. So,
how do you feel about the Club World Cup and the fact that you've got 4 players in there that have just spent the most of the last month playing football? And are they actually all going to start the season? Are they going to be leggy once they do start? Do you want a lot of Club World Cup players in the draft?
And just to add to that, you guys have got I can't remember what it's called now, the Super Cup thing.
The Super Cup.
So it's like six players, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fair point. However, that order, they're nicely warmed up for the season. I don't know, one of the two.
It might give you a good indication with Spurs who the first team might be potentially.
Yeah.
If they're going to play such an important game just before the start of the season, that might be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good shout though. I mean, I'm not so worried about City because I think they went out fairly early, but I mean, Chelsea went all the way through, didn't they? Obviously, they won it, so that's something to think about.
I've got Chelsea in my team as well because of the fixtures, but there's also consideration that they'd be a bit tired, or possibly given extra rest. But
I think, like I say, I think you have to wait. And again, these are the first drafts. I think as you get closer, you'll find out. Are they still playing? Are they being given extra rest, etc., etc.
Plus, they've got a squad of 106 players. So, it's not like they're short of options, is it?
If in doubt, buy another striker. Seems to be there. So Foden is the one that raised eyebrows, but I genuinely do think he will stay for me. I think he'll be good this season. He said, fingers crossed. Son, we've already talked about as a nostalgic pick. We'll see how we get on. Up front, Haaland. Yeah, it's a funny one on the heavy hitters. I think it's probably because I deeply resent Mo Salah for ruining my season last season.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys think. I do think, considering he's, what is he, 15 or 14.5? I can't remember. 14.5, isn't it?
14.5. Yeah.
It is a lot of money considering how much he tailed off at the end of last season. So I mean, he's in my first draft, but I don't think he's a lock. But you think Haaland's a better option than him? Because it is really between those two, isn't it? If you've got one of them in your draft.
Yeah. Again, I'm not over by Haaland, but again, I think City will be better. Pep will want to have a strong start, so I think Haaland will be up for it. Salah, I felt he tailed off after he signed his contract. I don't know if that was just me adding one-on-one, but as soon as he signed his contract, I thought, well, he's done his bit to get his money, and he's tailed off a bit, and I don't know. With Liverpool, they've spent a lot of money, brought a lot of new players in. It's going to take them a bit of time to gel. And again, I mean, going into some of the changes this year, we've got that many transfers and chips this season that you can afford to just have a bit of a punt at the start, knowing full well you can change things up fairly quickly if it has to happen. So So like I said, I've gone for Haaland at the moment. Although I can see the group think all going, no, must be Salah.
And FPL reviews and all that's yet to come out and further inform the template until we've all got exactly the same team.
Well, this team will be awful. I can guarantee you on FPL review. So don't worry about that.
And Watkins, I think he's being. I've not seen him in many drafts, but I think he's a pretty good option for 9 million.
Yeah, I think he's the only option up front at the moment. So for Villa,
we don't know where Isaac's going to be either, do we? In terms of that, I guess mid-premium, not quite premium striker.
Yeah, I think 9 million is all right. I mean, he scored well. I'm gonna slag off my previous discussion about Haaland, but I think he scored more points, roughly the same points as Haaland, and he's 5 million cheaper. So
I think he had about 16 goals, 8 assists, something like that. I remember.
Yeah. And again, I think if you're motivated, I think my thinking is that the England players be wanting to prove themselves this season to get themselves ready for the World Cup and selection, etc. So I think he'll be up for it. And Yao Pedro, he's a bit of my kryptonite, really.
I think he's the highest owned player in the game at the minute.
Yeah.
Him or Salah.
But again, I think it's maybe the 7.5, isn't he? Is that right?
I think so. Might have been a bit cheap. I'm not sure.
But again, I think it's fixtures. Again, I thought he looked good in the one game I did watch of the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was trying to prove a point. So yeah, I think he's in there at the moment.
Yeah, it's one that I do think with him and Palmer, had they not had those big performances in the latter stages of the Club World Cup. But I mean, I guess that's all we've got to go on at the minute. We've got the whole of pre-season, we've got the Charity Shield and all that sort of thing, haven't we? And then on the bench, you've got. I'm going to ask you about them. Diveni, who's I think we've discussed the.
No idea. He's 4.5. I thought he's got a nice name. Stick him in. No, he's 4.5, and I saw him in a couple of drafts and said, well, we might get some minutes, but it could be. Is it Miley? Is another 4.5, I think, for Newcastle as well. So it's whoever I get any kind of when I do a bit more research, I find out if they're going to get any minutes, etc. They'll be there for that point of view.
And you'd rather have a cheap fifth mid rather than a cheap forward and play with midfield or.
Yeah, because I could easily switch João Pedro to quite a few options. I mean, Eze for Palace, he's not in here. That'd be quite a nice switch. So he's definitely someone on my mind that I'm just I need to find a way I can make space him again. Son could become Eze, and then I could switch it over to some more over the 6.5s. But no Liverpool. No Liverpool. Which nobody's made that comment yet.
That stands out actually. No Liverpool. That's going to go against the crowd on Game Week 1. You'll be riding high up the league, or you're going to be you're going to be in trouble when everybody captains Salah in the first week.
They've got a difficult first 3 or 4 games, haven't they? I think Arsenal, Newcastle might be in there. What are your thoughts on the draft, Stuart?
I think it's different. I haven't seen anything like it on Twitter or anybody else have anything like it so far. It's early days though, isn't it? It's first draft stuff. Everyone's going to. I mean, I don't know how many you typically do during the pre-season, Andy, but yeah, that'll evolve, won't it? I should imagine.
Oh, yeah, it will evolve. You've been very polite there. Different means crap in English language. But bless him for saying that. But
we don't know. We don't know that yet. That's the thing, right? We don't know what's good, and especially with these changes to the defensive stuff and these extra points and whatever, we don't really know what a good player and a bad player is yet. I mean. Because we don't know how many extra points they're supposedly going to get through all these other different means.
What are you guys pre-season drafting like? I mean, I used to be someone who would play around. I'd make my team and then I'd be playing around with it literally every single day. I'd be making little changes depending on bits of information. I mean, I guess I'm going to have to do that again now. I'm a content creator, but for the last few years, I usually whack together a team in the first week of pre-season, and then I pretty much leave it then until the week before the game is about to launch, because there can be so much that happens over those 2 weeks. What are your guys' usual sort of processes?
Well, like I say, I tend to do the first one, then I'll leave it a couple of weeks, just because for me, there's almost like too much stuff at the moment. There's so much stuff going on there. You're gonna get drowned. For now, so give it a couple of weeks, and then I'll have another proper one when things have calmed down a bit, and then as I run up towards the last week, so that's when the daily tinkering comes in. Do you know what I mean? Thinking, I'll switch a Stevie, my 4 million defender, for another 4 million defender. So it's just tweaking towards the end.
How about yourself, Stuart?
What I do, Gary, is I tend to do 2 or 3 drafts quite quickly, trying to find the extremes of the game. So you'll see from the one that we look at in a minute that is my no Salah, no Haaland draft. Is trying to see if I don't do something that is normal, what extreme team can I get to? In the same way, I'll try and also have a draft where I can try and put as many premiums in as possible. Stretch it and see how much money can I invest in a premium, and then what other 2 players can I get around it, and then probably settle somewhere in between eventually. Those two things.
So just before we move on to your draft shot, I'll say this. Joey always said this on Scout. How many of these do you reckon will definitely be in your game week 1 team, or is it all open for the player? All open at the minute still.
I still reckon there's like 5 or 6.
Okay.
But I still feel fairly confident.
Who are they?
Well, like I said, definitely Sells the keeper. I think that's good. I think definitely at least 1 or 2 of the 4.5 defenders. Foden, I seem to be obsessed about Foden at the moment, so I think Foden, Rodgers will definitely be in there. And then Watkins. So yes, that's about 5 or 6. So yeah.
Okay, so you got this good half a team there then. Okay, let's move on to Stuart's then. So I'll read it out, Stuart, and then you can talk us through your thought process. So again, Sells in goal, the bench goalkeeper. So 2 starting goalkeepers. I assume Henderson's starting still, isn't he?
Hopefully. I mean, they have signed a goalkeeper, but I think he's still the first choice.
I can't imagine why he wouldn't be. He did pretty well towards the end of last season. Then the back says he's a 4-4-2 draft. So back 4 of Munoz, Murillo, Milenkovic, and Cucurella. I'm much preferring this draft as I can pronounce the names better because I know most of them. Then 4 in midfield of Wirtz, Palmer, Marmoush, and Semenyo. And then 2 up front, Bowen and Watkins. And then the 3 bench outfield players, May Ender, Greyhead, and Tielemans. Tielemans, that's an interesting one. So what do you want to talk us through your draft there, Stuart?
Yeah, so you'll see that the defence has got, and the goalkeepers. There's a lot of there's a
money.
lot of Forest and there's a lot of Crystal Palace. And when I put this together,
What is a Forest back five? Back three?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
the idea being that when I play FPL, I go all in generally. It's quite risky, but yeah, and I quite like the idea of if you're going to go for a defence that's going to keep a clean sheet or do well in the game, then having three of them might really help you.
Do you reckon they're going to keep up this season? You don't think it was a bit of a? I mean, they did drop off a lot towards the end, didn't they? Don't that worry you?
Depends how they play this year, but they tend to sit very deep and do lots of clearances for teams that they're playing against that are better than them. And then both those defenders of the Forest have got goal threat when they come forward. So yeah, Milinkovic on corners and Murillo likes a long shot. So I quite like that. But the Palace and the Forest looked at their fixtures and they rotate quite nicely.
Right.
So it might not always be a back four. It could be a back three quite easily. And it could be that I'm playing 3 Forest and Cucurella or 3 Palace and Cucurella or for fixtures that are better or worse. Now, obviously, that was back in the day when the points were rewarded for the clean sheets. But now we got these defensive points as well. I'm not quite clear whether actually the worst fixtures for some of these teams are the matches where they're actually going to get more defensive points.
Yeah,
because they're under the cloth. They're making more clearances, they're making more tackles, they're doing more of the defensive work. So that idea of rotating them out of good fixtures, I've got a feeling that could end up with quite a few points on the bench. Even if they lose, even if they concede, they might have done a lot of actions during the match. And so I heard that the other day, and I'm not too sure. But the idea was to basically put the better defence in for the better fixtures. I'm never too worried about bench points.
Right.
That's another thing. Is that, and then obviously this is the no Salah, no Haaland draft, just to see what else you can get in there.
I mean, I've got to say it does look very good, apart from one of them not being in there, basically.
With the two biggest players in the game, yeah. So if I hate the word coverage, but you've got Wirtz and Mamouche in there basically as players from the same team. I'm not even going to try and convince anybody that those two players can cover Salah and Haaland, but it does allow you to have Palmer, Bowen, and Watkins, quite expensive players and quite an expensive defence, and spread the cash over the whole team. Bowen's obviously got a good fixture. That was really why I plugged him in there, because I had the money to do it. I like Watkins as a player. I think Andy was saying about that, and Semenyo just happens to be my favourite player in the game.
Yeah, I've seen him sneaking into a few drafts. If for example, Evan Nilsson or Justin Kluivert left, would that put you off him at all?
No, because then more things would be channeled through him.
Yeah.
Because he is pretty much the main creator in their team, and I just like it's more like I like watching him play. I get excited, and I maybe I'm falling into a trap with players that I find appealing to actually sit down on a Saturday or Sunday and actually watch do some stuff. But yeah, I like exciting players, and that's why I'm a bit annoyed about these defensive midfielders into the game. Sort of, the people are trying to push you into picking boring players with the likes of the defensive midfielders, and I like to watch football and pick all the attackers.
Yeah, so I'll just say this is between this stream I did last night. This will be coming out on Friday, and these drafts. This is the 5th draft I've looked at on the channel, and I don't think we've seen a single defensive mid yet. In at all, it's coming into the equation a little bit when people are thinking about defenders. but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem to be featuring in much in the draft so far.
Yeah, I think for those people who are gonna, tout the bench boost game week 1, you might start to see some then, Casado or people like that, etc.
Elliot Anderson, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I can see them starting to appear if people are going to really, back up what they're talking about and do it. But yeah, I think a lot of people are just kind of waiting to see for now.
So
Yeah,
sorry,
and I was going to say the bench was basically Sells and Henderson in some sort of rotation. Gahey coming in when the Palace have got good fixture, and I want to drop the Forest players out. And I watched Villa at the end of last season and found that Tielemans was quite far advanced, and he had set pieces, and he was doing lots of stuff in the action areas of the game. And I thought he could be one to look.
What price is he, mate?
He's 6 million.
Okay. Is he? Would he pick up any defensive points? Borderline, maybe.
Possibly, maybe. Not sure. I haven't really looked into that yet.
And I'm assuming is Gueye in there because he might move to Liverpool?
That was also my thinking. Yeah, being a 4.5, and he could end up having a Liverpool shirt rather than a Crystal Palace shirt is certainly appealing.
It'd be pretty nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, what are your thoughts on this draft?
It's really annoying because I don't want to like it because I want to wind up too. But it looks good. I mean,
not bad, is it?
it's a typical Stuart Pep talk, boom and bust in terms of having to triple Forest. So either he'll be high as a kite going, yay, we got the clean sheet against Brentford, or he'll lose it. But I get his logic with the Forest because I do think they'll dip down during the season, but I think to start off with, they'll be all right. We'll keep the defence tight for Forest. So I think that's a really good shout. Who else would I pick out? Semenyo, yeah, I think the fixtures are a bit iffy, so I'm not in as much love with him as Stuart obviously is.
I did. I think it was Craig again. Actually, was talking about the fact that Semenyo tends to be more productive in games where he's playing on the counter attack against bigger teams.
Yeah.
Because he likes to go on the break, and actually a lot of his bigger hauls were in matches where he was playing on paper tougher teams.
Yeah, I could buy that because I think he was a player last season that you did have to just hold for quite long periods over the season, whereas I kind of had him for bits, and that was for the decent games. And I think you said he wasn't
didn't get any.
He didn't produce, and as soon as I took him out or benched him, lo and behold, he hauled. So I get that logic. Tielemans actually a good shout. I'm going to have a look at him now because I think that could be good. I agree with you at 6 million as a steal, but again, it's going to sound like I'm anti-Liverpool, but any new signing I'm a bit wary of anyway. So, but although he is a quality player,
Tielemans be on penalties.
I'm not sure. Was on penalties?
It was Watkins, wasn't it?
I remember. I know Watkins has a terrible record, doesn't he? But I'm not sure.
Was it Louise at one point as well? So I think they shared
it
around.
It was Arsensio, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, of course. But he's not there now, is he?
He missed 2 penalties in one game because I remember he was in my team.
But he's not there now, is he?
No, he's gone back. He was on loan, wasn't he?
So we don't know who's on penalties. It could be Tielemans.
Could be
Tielemans. Also, any last things you want to say about this draft, mate, before we go on to talk a little bit about the great and the good?
Yeah, the caveat being that he hasn't got the 2 biggest players in the game. So whether we say it's good or not, it's still missing 2 14 million players in it. So, and if they bang, how are you going to get back to them?
It does depress me a bit because it was very much the same conversation last season. I had Haaland for 10 goals he got in the first 3 game weeks, but then Salah went off, and it took me about 7 or 8 weeks to get him in. And I didn't have a terrible season. I finished about just outside the top 100,000. But I'm fairly sure that delay in getting him in was the crucial thing of my season, and it could be the same again this season, couldn't it?
Yeah, no, I think last season that's exactly what happened to me. I was really stubborn. I'd kind of I didn't have him. I stayed of Haaland. I think it was during game week 12, 13, that period as it were.
Yeah.
Didn't get him back in, and the swing was horrendous. So I was all the way outside. I was in the millions until I kind of had a late surge and just ended up outside the 100,000 at the end. But
sounds like a silly season.
It was like same thing really. It kind of, but then I'll do the same thing again. I won't have him, and then I'll be stubborn about it, and then I'll have to play catch up. But that's part of the game.
I guess the thing is, if you have one, it makes moving to
the other
second one
much easier, right?
Yeah, but if you have none, you've really got a wild card or save up 3 or 4 transfers, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could get to one from Parma, but
yeah, you'd still need quite a bit, though, wouldn't you? I guess you could go down to Watkins to Beto or something. You might be able to afford it if you were upgrading Parma.
Yeah, but the move between Wirtz or Mamouche up to any of them is huge, which is why you get such a spread of players in the team if you don't have any of them.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, all right. So let's move on to talk about the great and the good and strikers, losers. I can't remember the name. You'll have to remind me.
Strikers, keepers, losers,
sweepers. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about this league. So for anyone who's not aware, who doesn't watch Black Box, I mean, I've heard it shouted out in other places as well. This is a league which I believe, well, I'll let you explain it, Graham, but I'll just give a brief introduction. They shout it out a lot in Black Box. It's got some of the greatest FPL managers we've ever seen in it, as you can see by the table. So this was the final table from last season. Is that right, Andy?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So Fabio Borg, Ben Krellin, Prads, Harry Daniels. So just want to tell us maybe a bit about the history, mate. And this is the one thing Trigger Lips told me I had to say. How do I get him in it?
Yeah.
I believe it's up to you.
I was hoping he was going to be on. So he could plead his case. No, so it's in its 8th year now. So it's been going for a while. They're really. I started it based on. I wasn't very good at FPL, so I just started tracking or following just a couple of the managers that I knew or I'd seen on various shows, etc. And then just kept the articles going on it. It's not necessarily, the top. There's basically a combination, I think, of kind of the top managers. So as you said, Fabio, Ben Krellin, Harry are all really, really good managers. Then it's people kind of more prominent, I would say, rather than having the kind of startling track records. But really, it's kind of more of a way of just kind of looking at those good managers, those prominent ones, and just seeing what they're doing, and just it helped me, if I'm being honest, it helped me over that period. Just look at how they're structuring a team, how they're approaching team value, what they're doing in terms of chip strategy and changes, etc. So it just over time, it's just kind of helped me think it through. I mean, now it's kind of evolved and people want to be in it for some reason. I don't know why, because it's I literally just take the piss out of them most weeks in my articles. So
I mean,
it's
given Trigger Lips is in here, you could just put me in,
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that does stand out to me is you say they're all good players, but I see you've got Andy North and Ads in here, so I guess. Is that just because they shout you out on Black Box? Was that the bribe?
Well, that's why I said that was why I said the comments. Some are really good managers, and some are not so good.
I just pick it out. I just say it as it is. Yeah. So
no.
I think you need to tell Gary how Andy North got in the league. Actually.
Oh yeah. So this is the weird combination between people desperately taking it seriously to get in, and then the reason Andy North is in because I had a bet of him midway through a season because we were both doing crap, and basically I said, well, if you beat me, because I thought he was shocking, if you beat me, I'll let you in, and unfortunately he did slightly better than me, and so I had to honour my bet and let him in. So that's what I mean. It's not completely serious. Say again?
You can't get rid of him now.
No, I really want him to sink below because every year I kind of make changes and take 4 or 5 people out. So I'll out of this lot, 4 or 5 would have dropped out by the time I announce who's going to be in it next week. But
so there's no relegation and promotion then.
It's not a strict relegation or promotion. It's kind of like, if you're towards the bottom, you should be worried unless you happen to show the table and talk about great and good on Black Box. But apart from that, it's either ones towards the bottom or ones that maybe just haven't stood out in terms of what they've done from a kind of playing style.
Because I'm aware of the Elite 64 League, which is the other one that gets plugged a lot. But I think that one actually has a proper relegation and promotion. So this is more like the Super League of FPL.
This is more about the people I fancy talking about, the people I want to kind of like.
Fair enough.
It's more of a kind of like a personal decision, but and genuinely it does make me laugh that
I think
people seem keen to want to be in it, and I'm there going, well, okay.
You do have a mini league though, don't you?
No, to be fair, I try and add some credibility to it, Gary. By we have like as open to all mini league. So if you win that mini league, you get in.
Okay.
So Durant Owen, you can see midway through the table, he won it the year before and came up and actually did a lot better than some of the big names, if you like. I think he beat Mark and.
I'm still trying, Gary. I'm still trying to get in that way.
Is that the total 18 teams, or does that list continue onwards?
No, just 18. Just 18.
Oh,
so I try and keep it that because I think I did actually start with only 12, and that was actually probably a better number because you learned a bit more about what they were doing, and you could look in terms of their approach, etc. Whereas, but 18's alright, but I don't want to go any more than that.
Does anyone won it more than anyone else? Is there anyone who stands out?
Fabio? So no. Well, Fabio's won it twice. And Ben's now won it twice in a row. So I sent him out a little trophy. So he had he proudly showed his 2 trophies on his mantelpiece. I think over the summer. So those 2 have won it twice. Harry's won it once. Mark's obviously won it, and then. This will show how long you've been playing FPL. Do you remember Videronka? So he was like a legendary player. So he won it towards the start when I first started doing it.
Who do you think might be? I'll ask both of this. Who do you think's the early pre-season favourite for this year?
Well, go on, Stuart. This is when you say Andy North.
No, not saying that. No way. Praz or Harry, probably, based on historical finishes. I'd say.
I think Praz wants to win it. I think Praz is he got close last season, so I think he's quite keen to add it to his trophy cabinet.
He was only 19 points off.
Yeah, he got close. He got close, and he was like leading for quite a way, but just ran out of chips unfortunately towards the end, and Ben came through, but no, I think Praz would be my. I'll put some pressure on him and say he's the early season favourite.
I'll back Praz because he's actually in our SKLW team, so he's one of my teammates. So I've got to back really.
Perfect segue. So how this video kind of came about was we wanted to come on and talk about this. So I went out for a couple of drinks with Az and Yelena on Tuesday, who I believe are both involved with this league, and they gave me a very brief description, but I didn't let them go into any detail because I sort of wanted to go in not knowing, because I believe this is open to anyone. Is that right, Stuart? Yeah.
Yes, pretty much. I mean, there is a limited number of teams, but that's based around the fact that the admin team, has certain restrictions on how many people they can have in it based on how many they can process.
Do you want to talk us through what it is and how people can get involved, and tell me when you want to look at the leagues as well?
Yeah.
Well,
I'll let Andy go first because he can tell you about how it came about originally, because it was going for a couple of years prior to myself getting involved with changing it and developing it stuff into a slightly bigger set of leagues. So maybe Andy can tell us how it originally came around.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, there's always been community tournaments. I think on Scout and various platforms, there's been those community tournaments. So, I think and then Boris Bodega, my partner in crime, came up with this really good concept, which is it's basically a team game for FPL managers. And he came to me and said, obviously, I knew some of the content creators who were desperate to get into the great and good, and so I use that just to kind of like help spread the word a bit more about it. So, but in its essence, what I really like about it is that it does kind of bring the. I know it's going to sound a bit twee, but kind of bring the community together, because effectively it's groups of 16 FPL managers, and you have kind of weekly games against each other, and it's a kind of, you get points either by the total of the FPL managers score in the team, and then also there's kind of head-to-heads, so that's where the strikers and the keepers comes in. So there's a bit of strategy, and then there's a bit of kind of like collectively how well you're getting on, and generally I like it because it brings managers together. So you'll notice that a lot of these teams of 16 have been going for what, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, Stuart, something like that.
Yeah,
Teams,
I mean,
not creators. Players are working together then to create a team. Is that right? Because Yelena told me she was dropped and she was very upset at one stage, which I didn't really understand. But sorry, yeah, go on, Stuart.
Yeah, so the way it works is, so there's 16 FPL managers in each team.
Wow.
And basically they'll use their FPL score for the week, and they'll add it together as a collective score for the team.
Right.
And what the captains will do before the beginning of the game week is decide based on what everyone's lineups are for that week.
Who's the captain?
Well, the captain. Well, Greyhead's a captain of a team. I'm in a team, and the captain is FPL Richard.
So it's like pre-appointed who's going to be captain.
One nominated person for each team, really.
Okay.
It's like the person who kind of comes on and goes, right, I'm gonna start a team of 16, and then I went off and kind of like, or the captains go off and identify the other 15 people to join them, basically.
Okay.
So they have a WhatsApp group, or we've got a Discord group, and we all chuck our team sheets in for the week, and then they get reviewed, and we decide who's our strongest players, who do we want to play as our 2 strikers, who do we want to play as our goalkeeper, who do we want to play in the collective squad. And then probably what Yelena's getting upset about is the fact that you have to nominate 2 players to go on the bench, which aren't going to be included in the score. Now, the risk is that they get a decent FPL score, and you've just wasted it by not including.
You're picking from those 16 players whose teams are going to be in your 11, and the collective points that those teams score will be the collective score overall. All right. So he would have been dropped off the bench onto the bench onto
the bench, so her score wouldn't have been counted that week for her team.
Got it.
So you're looking at bringing into the bench the 2 weakest players you think for that week. Maybe they've got a team that's got poor fixtures. Maybe they've got an injury crisis. Maybe they've taken a -20. You know, or you don't want those sort of people in your team. They drop them to the bench for the week. So there's a different strategy to it, and actually, you can have a team with some really good managers. I mean, Greyhead's team's got some high quality managers in it, and he's really struggling to get out of League 2 at the moment because it doesn't work out the way you want it to. And it gives a different dimension to it. But also there's the social element. The social element is that you meet a whole group of different managers, and then you play against another team of different managers every week, and you chat to them and have a laugh with them, and
bit of rivalry.
Yeah. And then we also have transfers, because different managers change teams, which gets interesting, because they want to join a different team to meet a different set of managers they've not spoken to before.
Or to get off the bottom of the table. At the bottom of the table team.
or they move to get out of the bottom of the table, go to a better team.
And there's quite a few. I think you were saying when we were messaging beforehand. I've already mentioned Az and Yelena, because think you said Praz and a few other people were involved in the league. Is that right?
Yeah. No, like I say, we used some of the bigger names. We reached out to them to kind of get them involved, just to bring more people in. But there's about 800 managers, something like that, in total involved in it. So it's not a small enterprise. And I mean, full credit to Stuart and Paul and
Rob and Will.
Yeah, Rob and Will, etc., who do all the spreadsheet work behind it.
Yeah,
but it's such a slick operation now. Yeah, it's such a slick operation. It's like, I mean, it's just a good laugh. I mean, a lot of teams stay together. Sometimes people, like Stuart was saying, drop out. You can have a bit of fun transferring people across, and Stuart's done a good job of trying, making it having like the transfer rumours and speculation along the way as well. So it's good banter from that point of view.
Whenever a manager changes team, I like to send a Twitter out on the main account saying, "Here we go, doing a, this person's changed to this team," and then make up some silly story as to why that's happened. Just to,
By the way, I'll just take the opportunity to say at this stage, I've put Greyhead, Stuart, and the SKLW Facebook links in the video description below if you want to check it out. So first question is, if someone wants to get involved, do they need to come in with a team of 16 players already, or can they just get in contact and you'll put them in a team?
They can join they can set up a new team if they like, and with a bit of 16 managers, friends, or people they know, or people they've spoken to, or whatever. But a lot of the time you get people contacting you saying they want to join, and then you throw that out and say, is anyone looking for players? And this is the pre-season, so anyone looking to join has got to look for a team, contact one of the other 48 managers or captains we've got, and see if they've got space in their team. Maybe they've had some people leave, maybe they're looking for managers to join them. So yeah, there's a bit of movement in the transfer market at the moment, definitely, because people are trying to set their teams up. Maybe they've had people that don't communicate, because obviously you've got to put your team sheet in every week, and if you've got a manager that goes AWOL and doesn't give you his team, you don't know whether their team's good or bad. So they might kick those people out and be looking for new people.
And I'll ask you again at the end, but if someone who's the first person someone should contact if they do want to get involved somehow?
They should follow them. They should follow the SKLW official Twitter account, and we'll follow them back. And then they should DM the main account and say they'd like to come in, or they can just respond to any of the tweets that we put out saying, "I'm looking for a team," and we'll pick that up and we will retweet it. And all of them, and let the captains know that there's a player that wants a transfer.
And for the left wingers out there who may have closed their X account and only be on Blue Sky, you're on there as well?
We are on Blue Sky. We have the Blue Sky account. It tends to be less active. I don't know why that is, but
I think it's because Blue Sky's a lot less active, probably.
Yeah. Less anger on that side of me.
But it's on there, and if anyone messages on there, I'll pick that up as well.
Yeah. He does a good job. To be fair, I mean, I'd like to say, I mean, if you are interested in getting involved, just put your name forward, and generally, I think we've managed to find people teams, etc. So. And then Stuart, I was gonna reveal my new signing. Shall I reveal my new signing?
This is an exclusive, Gary. This is exclusive. Here we go.
So we've signed, like, for example, Alex Bollo, the man behind every single graphic. So
channel member of mine.
Yeah, excellent. So he got in touch saying he didn't have a team this year, so we've snapped him up obviously straight away into my bunch of Galacticos. So so it's like I say, if you want to get involved, just get yourself put yourself forward, and genuinely it's a good laugh. Some teams treat it seriously, as you're about to show in a minute. Our team don't treat it as seriously as we should do.
So Stuart sent me these two. Which one do you want to look at first, mate? League 2 or League Premier League?
Premier League usually comes first, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah. Let's have a look at it. So whose teams are these? What FPL legends may be involved in some of them?
Who can I pick out? So, well, let's start with my team. My team finished 6th this season, son of a gun.
Just outside the Champions League places.
Yeah, just outside. But we did win the end of season Europa League competition. So after the league season finishes, there's 3 cup competitions, and depending on where you finish in each league, depends on whether you qualify for a tournament. So we were outside the top 4, so we didn't qualify Champions League. So, but we were in the Europa League, and we won that competition and picked up a trophy.
Got to say, I do love that name, Netflix and Chilwell. That's a very good team name.
Yeah. And obviously, the bottom 3 teams there in red, they were relegated. So there's promotion and relegation, and that also means there's quite a lot of movement in the leagues because there's only 12, but that means that you get to meet and play against different managers every year, which is quite nice.
And whose is Oops, We Did It Again, which is a very what's the word I'm looking for? Presumptive team name, but I'm assuming they did do it again.
They're the team with the Britney Spears obsession, aren't they?
Yeah, that used to be my old team. So I used to be that. But they've got people like Hibbo. You know Hibbo from he's in that team, and a bunch of really good managers. They still won.
Oh, okay.
He'll be after you for that one. But no, I mean some really good kind of more. I think I'm going to call them seasoned managers and see how much stick I get for that. But no, I mean, and then who else I'd pick out? Fabio Cannavaro. So that's all the analytic lot. So that's all the type of do all the deep analysis of all the stuff. Elsin Nombre, that's like FPL fella. He's in that. Nima's in that. I mean, I think each one of those has got people either you recognise or some really good managers along the way. I think the one thing I would say about it, I always appreciate whenever we talk about it. It sounds really complicated, but genuinely,
no, I'm getting it.
If you get yourself involved, then after a couple of weeks, it becomes like second nature sort of thing. And,
why
they
only played 22 games?
Because they basically play each other twice. So it's
like home and away fixtures. Yeah. They play the other 11 teams twice.
Okay. So it's not. But I was thinking if it's over a 38 game week season, how does that work out?
Well, we tend to start the league. The deadline for entering your managers is game week 1. The deadline, that's the FPL deadline for game week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then we tend to one of them process all the teams, and then we start the league around game week 3.
Okay.
We tend to avoid having a SKLW match day on any midweek fixtures because it's difficult for the captains to be around to submit their teams. So we like to have it on a weekend, so it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to miss out the fixtures during Christmas.
Okay.
For the same reason. It's difficult for the team to meet up and talk about it if they're having their Christmas dinner and speaking to their relatives, etc. So we tend to miss those games out, and then we want space for the cups at the end.
Difficult enough to find time just to sort your own FPL team out on Christmas Day.
That's right.
So we'll have a look at the second division and.
To become second bottom, I didn't realise we were that bad.
Stuart said I might want to. Lucky there's no relegation from this league, I guess, isn't it?
It's the worst one. I didn't realise we were that low down, but and genuinely, it is my fault. I can't think of any reason because we have genuinely got some really good managers. I've got like Ping Green, I've got Frank Pedersen, I've got FPL Trini. The only thing I would say, I do always bench Adam from above average.
I don't blame you for that.
I do. We do have a little slogan saying ABA, always bench Adam, and that seems so stuck. Bless him. But
this fella Spurs fan as well.
Yeah, but he can take it. Do you know what I mean? I've got all these egos in the team, so I've got to be careful. Whereas I know he's a robust character, so he'll take it on the chin and move on. But
so are you regretting leaving the new league champions, Premier League champions, and trying to form a new team?
Well, I must admit, I did think we might have gone up. I did think we might have gone up at least because we've been done it. I think I've had this team for 3 seasons, and we haven't gone up yet. So I did think we might have gone up at least one league, but no, it is completely down to me. We just not haven't quite made it yet, but we will. And when we do rise like a phoenix from the flames, it'll be the stuff of legends, and we'll get in the Premier League and probably get relegated straight away. So.
You can earn that actual Galacticos team name.
Well, that was the thing. That was the thing. Because when I made up the team, there was all these, they're reasonably big names, and everyone's getting a bit angry, weren't they? In the
everyone
chat,
was worried, weren't they? Everyone was worried that you'd just stolen a load of high-ranking Hall of Famers, and they wondered.
Yeah. I think there was like Andrew Neve and Frank and so forth. They'd all been McCondom as well. They were all like top 10 Hall of Fame, and then I've ruined them basically. So if you join the Galacticos, I will ruin your FPL career.
So we're going for an hour, just over an hour now. So I think we'll wrap up. Can you just say again, Stuart, how people can get in touch? And you said the deadline will be the game week. Same as the game week 1 deadline for FPL. If someone wants to get involved,
to enter a team, that will be the deadline. And the best place to contact us is at official SKLW on Twitter and on Blue Sky.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much for joining me, lads. It's been really fun to learn about the league and to get to talk to you. Anything you want to say before we go, Andy?
I would just say look out for the great and good reveals that are coming up next week, because Mr. Volo has helped me do it, and they're quite special graphics, put it that way. So look forward to that.
Like his price price reveals.
They could well be. That's all I'm going to say. They could well be. So watch out for those. But yeah, no, thanks for having along, Gary. I really enjoyed it. So much appreciated.
Thanks, Darren. I appreciate it. And I would say just if you didn't know about this tournament, Gary, and if you're interested, I'd get involved in a team. Maybe have a word with people that find out which team they're in, see if they've got any space to put you in there with them, and then you'll be chatting to them.
I definitely will do, mate. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Yelena's in a team, Az is in a different team. Interestingly, they're not in the same team. Maybe that's because they're together. They don't want any clashes, but. Yeah, there's other people that you've had on your chat. That's why I was a bit surprised you'd never heard of it, considering that every single person you had on your channel, I think, is already in one of the other teams.
I will give I've been playing FPL for 10 years, but prior to opening this channel, I'd never had any contact with the FPL community. Never had an X account, so it's all very, very new to me.
Well, we don't want him in, because then his team will then overtake the Galacticos, and we've got enough problems anyway. So you just stay as an observer, okay, Gary? That's fine.
If I come in, you might finish third from bottom instead of second from bottom.
Maybe that's it. Actually, no, I've changed my mind. Get on board.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, lads. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Do check out the SLKW. I got it right.
No, strikers, keepers, losers, weepers.
That's it. A good reminder. Do check out their mini league and get in touch if you want to set one up. Please like the video to help get it out there. Please do subscribe, and please check out channel memberships if you'd like to support the channel even further. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.